guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Kristen, and today I am doing 5 different dollar store Christmas DIYs. A couple things were from the Dollar Tree and a couple things were from Dollar General. So you guys, let's just jump right in. First DIY, you'll need 3 of these wood houses, and then these ornaments from Dollar General, and these were from Dollar Tree, and some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. So the first thing I did here was just rip apart the houses. They are super easy, and you don't really have to tear every piece of paper off. You definitely could, but once you add the scrapbook paper, you can't even tell there's anything underneath. And sometimes there is some paper along the edges of the houses, so all I did was take a sandpaper block and sand down the sides just to make this all nice and perfect. And then I took some Arteza brown paint and then some Waverly chalk paint in the elephant color, and I mixed the two together to make this grayish brown color. I love the way this one looks, and since I was using the scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, I thought that it would look great since it was like a vintage, like distressed type. I did cut the scrapbook paper down to the size and then just took a glue stick and glued the scrapbook paper to the backs of the houses. I just took some hot glue so I could glue the backs of the houses to the frame of the house, if that's what you want to call it. That's what I'm going to call it, the frame of the house. And I did this to all 3 of them, and then if there was any showing along the sides, you can kind of tell, I just took a rotary blade and cut those down. And then I'm just taking the 2 deer and I'm going to be putting them on the longer houses, and I kind of put them towards the bottom so they would be more centered. I picked up these bows from Walmart, and I will just be adding them to the tops of the houses. And then I'm just using one of these little Merry Christmas sparkly ornaments. This one was from the Dollar Tree, and I would almost just thought about sanding it down and painting the words. Maybe I will in a different DIY, but I kind of like the sparkles on this one, so I decided to keep it, which is kind of crazy because normally I don't like glitter and I don't like stuff like that, but I think these 3 together are so cute. I didn't glue them together in case I want to move them around, but you could definitely glue the 3 together. It would look super cute. DIY, I'm going to be using one of these mop heads and then 2 of these little vases, or these little glass vases. I want to say they're vases from Dollar Tree, and then this ribbon from the Dollar Tree as well. And then the vases are 2 different sizes, and I'm just going to be taking the mop head and I just kind of cut it apart, and they are in some small strips. I've never actually ripped apart one of these yet, but they do come in small strips, and all I did was take some hot glue and wrap it all around both of these little vases because I'm going to be making a snowman, if you haven't already known. You are only going to need to purchase 1 mop head to make this video, and you did have a lot of little strands left over, and like I said, they didn't come in the long strands. They are a little bit small, so this was pretty time consuming and took a while. But this is what these 2 look like when they're all done, and then I'm just going to take some hot glue on the larger one and glue the smaller one right to the top. Whoa, oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh, oh. Da, da, da. These little hats, they were $3 for 3 of them at Dollar General, and I'm just going to be taking one of them and gluing them right to the top of the snowman head.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
I'm just going to take the ribbon and wrap it around its little neck and make a scarf.
I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you.
And for the nose of the snowman, I just used some orange felt. This is like a thicker felt from Arteza, but you can pick it up at Walmart. And then just some buttons for the eyes. And I picked these up at Dollar Tree a long time ago. And he is so stinking cute. And I love the way he's not 100% perfect, but I love the way he looks. I think he is so stinking cute.
Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be?
Next DIY, I'll be using 2 of these ornament signs from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be cutting the top piece off because I do not want that ribbon sticking out, and then flipping it over, and I'm going to be using one of these mop heads once again. And first I'm just using the leftovers from the snowman DIY, and I'm just taking the strips and laying them right across. I want them all nice and perfect, and this was such a fun DIY. Like I said, this one was also time consuming, but I love the way this turned out. It's such like a modern farmhouse decor piece, and I love the way this turned out. And like I said, it does take some time, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to cut it perfect, because when you are done, I just ended up using a rotary blade to trim the edges. You can always use scissors as well to trim the edges if you don't have a rotary blade.
Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh. La, 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 la. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year.
And then I'm just going to be taking the Waverly chalk paint in ink and painting the top of this. And then I did end up wrapping twine around it. It was a little hard, so for the second one, I actually did not use the twine. This cute little ornament came from Hobby Lobby. I think it was $1.79, but I loved this one, and I love the way it looks on the mop pieces. You can't even tell it's mop. It almost just looks like yarn once you put it all together, but I just love the way this one turned out.
It's just gonna be you and me.
Once again, I'm using this ribbon and I'm just tying bows right to the top and gluing them on with some hot glue. And then I did decide to make a second one, like I said, but I didn't show the steps. I did not add twine to this one, but I did just end up going all the way up to the top with the mop strings or the mop rope, and this little candy cane ornament came from the Dollar Tree, and then I just added a bow to the top once again. I was just trying to kind of use what I had on hand. I didn't want to waste anything, so that's why I decided to come up with a couple DIYs with the mop head and the ribbon.
By the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh. Oh, la, 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 la,
You'll need a wreath form and one of these trays from Dollar General, some burlap, also some greenery. This like pine greenery was from Walmart last year, and then I had some red flowers and these bows from Hobby Lobby. And what I like to do with the burlap is just wrap it around the wreath form so it covers everything nicely. And then once that is all together, I will just be taking the tray. This was only $1 from Dollar General, and hot gluing it right to the top of the burlap. And I did this first because I wanted to not have to add greenery or any of the flowers if it was going to just cover up, or the tray was going to cover them up. So I'm just taking some of my tin snips and cutting the pine or the greenery, let's just call it greenery because I'm not really 100% sure what it's called, and I'm just hot gluing it all around to cover all of the burlap. And then once that is done, I'm just going to be taking my red flowers. These are the red berries, whatever we want to call them. They were actually from a garage sale, and I am just going to be sticking them just for a little bit of extra color in the pine.
Christmas memories. Yes, these are the good times with you. Don't even care what we do if I spend it with you. Just you and nobody else. It's so good to see you again, to see you again. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas.
DIY, you'll just need a bread pan and 3 little milk jars, and then I also used the Waverly chalk paint and ink. My little milk cans came from, or milk jars came from a garage sale, but I know that you can pick these up at Dollar Tree. I just used what I had, so I just went with these. I actually really like the ones from the Dollar Tree, so I wish I would have had them, but I figured I might as well use what I bought from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to be painting the bread pan with the ink color, and then I went back in with a plaster from, no, I think I used Arteza paint for this one because Arteza paint's pretty thick, and it was called Marshmallow. And then I'm using this ribbon once again along with these snowflakes, and I'm just going to be tying bows around the top of the jars and adding the snowflakes to them.
Christmas memories. I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everything.
I decided to wrap some ribbon all the way around the bread pan. The bread pan was not painted 100%, but that is definitely okay. Nobody is going to pick up the bottom, and I kind of liked the little rustic effect that it wasn't perfectly painted. I think it looks pretty stinking cute.
Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories.
Once everything was together, I just put the little milk jars right inside, and then I had some of these cute little picks from Walmart, and I just stuck those right inside. And I also had Presley help me with these, but how pretty are those? They are only 98 cents at Walmart. And that's it for this DIY.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean.
But you guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I would love if you consider subscribing and sticking around. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! There.
Hello! I see puppy.
Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas